Capricorn, hello there my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early March 2023. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's going on for the lovely Capricorns. I hope you're all doing fabulous, my friends. I'm sure you are though. Let's get it going here, my guides. Talk to me. See what we got for Cappy here early March 2023. And yeah, we're just going to look at this first card real quick, then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get this first card popping. What do we got for the Capricorns? Please and thank you. Talk to me, my guys. What do we got? All right, that card popped out quick. Here we go. So there is this very shrewd, honest, straightforward type of energy here. Very Queen of Swords like when I get this oracle card. Now, obviously, it's not the usual Queen of Swords, but we'll talk about it. There's a lot of symbolism there. Before we do, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the March subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Have a look at this beautiful card right here. So, of course, this could represent an older feminine figure, but she just gives me Queen of Swords vibes. Maybe you're connected to an air sign here, so we're talking Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. If not, when I get Queen of Swords energy, it is very stern, shrewd, straightforward, no nonsense. So you might be looking at certain things in this light, like just using logic alone, taking emotion out of the equation. For some of you, this could be a conversation that needs to be had, serious topics, or just a straightforward, not holding any punches, not pulling any punches, no holds barred approach to communication. So a lot of you could be in that headspace, right? If someone comes to you for advice, you're just going to tell it like it is or whatever it might be. It's an interesting energy and it can be very good, but let's just put her down there. Let's see what tarot has. We're going to get you 3 cards in the upright, then we'll get the intuitive juiciness flowing. So let's shuffle it up one time for you. And I always say with the first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a footnote. Okay, but let's see what's up. What do we got for Capricorn? So, last week's reading was titled A Massive Change. Now, I will say this, I try to keep the titles as simple and straightforward as possible. And yes, life is all about continuous change. But a big theme I was picking up in last weekend's readings was a lot of like powerful change, like big karmic cycles closing out, reopening. There's a lot of different things going on. So we're going to see what we have for you this week. Usually energies like that can stick around, but you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, okay? Because we could be seeing your energy or somebody you're linked to, right? A lot of Capricorns out there. Let's see what's up. 3 cards for my Cappies, please. Thank you. Okay, yeah. So just like I was speaking about, we have the World card talk about karmic cycles or karmic things that's showing up front and center here. Almost exactly what I was just describing. So it's like the tarot deck is listening to me, all right? Let's get 2 more. Lots of cycle-based energy here, whether openings or closing. Okay, we do have, this is going to be an interesting one, Capricorn, I could already tell. We have the Queen of Pentacles, which is a card that could easily represent you, another earth sign possibly. But there's also the Wounded Warrior here on the back end, the 9 of Wands. A lot of you could be like very territorial or protective over something in this time. Could be skeptical as well. Let's go through this. I'm going to give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and then we'll get the juicy intuitive stuff flowing. So at first glance, when I look at this spread, we're starting with some heavy power here, major arcana with court cards and then fire. So there's an interesting mixture of elements going on here. But position number 1, we have the World. Very in-depth type of card. Okay. So I'll just breeze through some of the possible meanings. It could speak about endings, closings of a cycle. I do say it also has that feeling of rebirth. It's extremely spiritual as well. It usually has symbols of guardian angels on it. A completion is a big thing, like an end of an era or the end of a cycle could be a big theme with this card. So we'll need to see what the clarifier is. I also say it could represent karmic things, whether it's karmic lessons, karmic justice, karmic rewards. It's a very in-depth topic. One thing I always like to add in when the world shows up in my style, I think it could mean like actual world events. So a lot of you could be very focused on world events that might not be the best for you to focus on, or something with the world today could be bugging you when that card shows up. So there's a lot there. But moving forward, we do have the Queen of Pentacles. Like I said, doesn't matter if you're male, female, anything in between. The Queen of Pentacles is an earth sign type of card. So in my style of reading, the clarifier could say a way that you might be feeling or something that's coming towards you. I always see her as a card of blessings. Okay, I see her as a card of sturdiness, abundance, fertility, very similar to the Empress. So if this isn't you or someone you're linked to, that's a very good sign, especially next to a card of closeouts and karma. You might be dealing with things that are a blessing in disguise as well. But pushing forward through to the back end of this reading, and we'll get more detail on all of this, we have the Nine of Wands, the Wounded Warrior. You see this imagery here. So you see this individual, they're standing up right against that fence of wands. I say this could be skepticism, so you might be going through certain things where you're keeping an eye on it. You could have a sense of skepticism about you in this time. Very protective and territorial. In its worst case scenario, I do say this could have like tinges of jealousy, but I'm not going to go that route just yet. Remember, this could be you or somebody else, but it's very protective. It's someone that's been through a lot of mess and they don't want to go through it again with this card. It could also speak about communication blockages, or somebody who's always, I don't want to say worst case scenario, but somebody who's weighing risks at the very least, like risk aversion and stuff like that. So it seems like we have a lot of things to really dive deeper into though, Capricorn. Let's do that. We're going to jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here. Let's reset this deck and see what's going on, because there's a lot more detail we need here, my friends. Capricorn, please. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's see what's up with the world. If you're a reader yourself, or you're just learning, please play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages that you want to give to Capricorn, you can drop them in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, world's card, what's up? Why is the world here for my friends? A few weeks ago, there was some karmic energy around you guys as well. Yeah. Okay. The Eight of Cups, there could be something you are making a choice to end or stop feeding into. That could absolutely be it. Or there is just this ending energy showing up, and not all endings are bad endings. Okay, even if it's something that's recently happened, with the card of blessings next to it, it could be a blessing in disguise. So if you're going through pains, if you're going through loss, if you're going through endings, it's okay, because it might be for the best even if you don't see it right now. But the Eight of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups is somebody walking away or moving away from something. A portion of you could be trying to avoid the inevitable with something, like avoid the inevitable ending or the inevitable closeout. But it's all part of that cycle, and it happens in every stage of life, whether it's work and jobs, whether it's personal relationships or people we're close with. This cycle, this cyclical nature does emanate throughout all of our lives. So sometimes there is no avoiding endings, right? Eventually, you've heard the quote, all good things come to an end. Not feeling tons of pain here, though. That's why I'm saying this might be a blessing in disguise. So we're going to keep pressing forward. Let's see what's up with that Queen of Pentacles. That'll give us a little more detail. So let's do that. And we'll talk about this more during the recap, of course. So why is this Queen of Pentacles here for my Capricorns? I really want to get over to that Nine of Wands as well. Okay, yeah. Six of Cups in reverse. And notice at the bottom here, when we're talking elementally, there's a lot of cards that tap into emotion. Okay. Now, you know how they say sometimes you go look into the past with rose-colored glasses? A lot of you, and I'm not trying to come at anybody sideways, but bad memories could come bubbling up in this time, things that you've been through already. It could even be ancient history, but the rough times are looking back on the past with the complete opposite of rose-colored glasses. So there is somebody doing that here for sure, whether it's you or somebody else. But the Six of Cups in reverse, it could also speak about issues with soulmates, very close emotional bonds, but it is a card of history and memories to me. So in reverse under the Queen of Pentacles, it looks like she's studying it to me. So just know the past or memories or history, things like that could be very prevalent for some reason. Now, could this be spirit warning you about repeating certain cycles, repeating certain behaviors? Sure. But you might be taking walks down memory lane, but not in the best kind with the Six of Cups in reverse. That's just a vibe. I mean, at bare minimum, that could just be issues with someone you're very closely emotionally connected with in this time. And it could make sense with what we have here in the front. There's a lot of emotion here, so there might be some warnings. We'll see when we get to that Nine of Wands. But let's see what's up. We're not going to stick around and overcomplicate it. It is what it is. You could research it more if you want. I always try to keep it concise if possible. So let's see what's up with that Nine of Wands. These are just themes that could pop up. Yeah, there it is. So we have the Queen of Swords in the upright, just like we started with that Oracle. The Queen of Swords energy is showing up once again. And it doesn't shock me. It doesn't surprise me. A lot of you could be extremely guarded in this time. And skepticism. This could be a very stern, cold individual. Now, could this be some of you from what you've been through, things you've been through, things you've gone through, turning a little cold? That is very possible, right? Like scars and pain does that to people. But I don't see all this emotion like over flooding you. The Queen of Swords, if you're not having issues with an air sign, because that could be it, she is just stern and serious, and this is somebody who is completely on guard, okay? When we have her underneath the Nine of Wands, it's like, nope, I'm not going to settle for this. I'm not going to settle for that. I've been through that race before. I've been around the block a few times. I've experienced things, and I could spot BS from a mile away. That's kind of the energy I'm picking up here. So even with this ending, this looking back into the past, I feel like a lot of you could really step into this Queen of Swords energy, or that's what Spirit might want you to do. It is a big card of strategy as well. It's not all bad. It's not all cold, but just beware, especially with the World card here. You might be tempted to turn cold if you're not already turning cold already. Okay, that's a big vibe I'm picking up here. Just extremely skeptical and on guard. So you might just be hyper protective or hyper aware of possible danger around you, okay? But let's go through and do a quick little recap, because there's a lot going on here this week, Capricorn. If you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we do have the World and the Eight of Cups in the upright. Interesting mixture of energy, absolutely like end of an era or endings possibly showing up here. It's not Ten of Swords or Tower type of pain, but it's an ending nonetheless. It could be a closeout of a cycle, of course, but this can absolutely be somebody trying to avoid an ending or like trying to delay the inevitable. So just keep that in mind. But moving to the center, we have the Queen of Pentacles with the Six of Cups in reverse. The main thing it was making me feel is that rough memories, pain, scars from the past could come bubbling up. You could be looking back on the past very pessimistically, like looking at what might be causing your current situations and stuff like that. Or if you just have any pain attached to the past that you haven't healed from, that could come bubbling up in this time. On the very back end, we have the Nine of Wands with the Queen of Swords in the upright. This fire-air combination, very skeptical, extremely on guard, and quite cold, right? Like somebody who's not letting another in. Now, could that be someone else you're dealing with? Absolutely. Like someone who has these walls and they're not letting anybody in for whatever reason. It's stern and it's shrewd. Could it be because of all this, the endings, the past? Absolutely. But there's a coldness on the back end. So just beware of that, especially if you're dealing with a lot of people or sensitive individuals as well. But yeah, please take a screenshot of that, Capricorn. I'm going to get you one shadow card here. Let's see what's in the shadows for you. And I'm using the Shadowland Tarot, just pulling one card just to cap this off. So let's shuffle it up one time. What's in the shadows for my Capricorns, please? Okay, and yeah, I'm not feeling treacherous energies in this week's reading. You know I'd warn you, but let's get one shadow card. What's in the shadows? Still using the Shadowland Tarot for this portion. It's my favorite. Okay, so we have Knight of Pentacles energy showing up in the shadows. This is another card that could represent you in a big way. Some of you might feel stuck on something, or something is sticking around, it's very hard to shake. Since you are an earth sign, when the Knight of Pentacles shows up, obviously it could be issues or scars with another earth sign. But it's very slow, very meticulous. Some of you could feel stuck in a rut in this time, or like something is not moving to your liking. That could be big here. Or there is something that's just sticking around and it refuses to move past, it refuses to move out. I do always say slow and steady wins the race with a card like this, but the shadow side of it is almost to the point of being stubborn Like, oh yeah, you want me to do this, then I'm going to do the opposite. It's that kind of energy. But now could be a time where the changes I was speaking about, there's still things lingering on from it. So it's an interesting vibe here. We're just going to put it there. Remember, it's just a shadow card. But yeah, Capricorn, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the March subscriber surprise. If you got your name in for the February subscriber surprise, the winners will be announced in my community tab after this week's fire and air sign readings. But for March, I'll be giving away 2 copies of the beautiful Tarot of the Owls. This is a new deck and it is absolutely awesome. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, which I'm sure you already are. And second, let me know down in the comments out of this week's reading, which card spoke to you the most. At the end of the month, the winners will be in the community tab once again. My friends, much love to you, and I'll see you next time.